Hi everybody, if you couldn't join us in the real or the virtual for our Home Language Toolkit workshop session, here is a recording to give you an overview of what Carrie Mecklem and I shared. So I am Melissa Cooper, teacher librarian and technology for learning coach, and this is
Carrie Mecklem, PYPEAL teacher. Thank you for your interest in our workshop, and we hope it's useful to you. The purpose of our workshop is to support you as families in continuing your child's home language learning by providing you with some resources and strategies. In essence, to build your own home language toolkit. As you can see, we have lots of home languages in the elementary school. Some families are monolingual, some are bilingual, and some are multilingual. What brings all of these languages together is that all of the kids are learning in English at OIS. If we help our children with foundational language skills in their home language, they will be able to build upon those skills when learning additional languages. We can also think of one's home language as being a bridge to learning in another language. When kids have a home language foundation, they are able to more readily transfer those foundational skills to their learning in English. Skills, knowledge, vocabulary, sentence structure, grammar, and concepts. If your child learns to read in their home language, they will transfer the concept of reading to English. It also strengthens their self-esteem and helps them form their identity. It's also important to consider that while elementary kids are very young, a fifth grader will be off to college in a mere 7.5 years, and having a strong home language could help them in a variety of ways as adults.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the online tools that are available for you. As we are talking today, I hope you think of building your toolkit, and one way you can do it is through your browser, your internet browser. You can add some links in a bookmark to a folder. So when we're going through this and you're looking at this recording and slideshow, you'll be able to start adding some bookmarks to build your toolkit. So one of the things that you have available to you is your library in your home country. So in Canada, for instance, the library there uses this app called Overdrive, as well as another one called Libby. They kind of go together. And we've discovered that many libraries in North America and Europe use these apps. So if you still have a library card from your home country, you will be able to access these. Here in Japan, publishers don't have as many ebooks available, but they are coming along. And Nakano Sensei has kindly offered that if you would like to access ebooks for your child, she can set you up an account with the school e-library. So you can see the email there on the screen. Just drop her a line to let her know that you're interested. I looked into a couple of other countries. For Chinese books, simplified Chinese, not traditional Chinese, there is something called an Appy Reader in which you can access different libraries, as well as the audiobooks and this interesting website called Fluent U, which has thousands of books available in simplified Chinese that your child could read. And interestingly enough, when I looked up Korean, they are also using the Libby and Overdrive apps through one of the universities in Seoul. And there's an additional digital library for Korean literature. So how does this look? On your device, whether it be a phone or a tablet, it goes both with Android and Mac. You can download the app. So in this case, this is the Overdrive app. And this view is from the website. So you set yourself up with an account, and then as you can see here, this is the libraries I have selected. So I have a library card with the Burlington Public Library, which is my hometown. And I also have a library card for the National Library Board of Singapore. So you simply, down here where it says find another library, you put in your country and you can search for any library available. And it's wonderful. There's children's books, there's adult books, there's so many available to you. So accessing ebooks from your home country's library is a great resource for you. In addition, to plug the library, on the library homepage, as you can see I have circled here, is a section called All About Books, and hidden in there are ebooks. For instance, this International Children's Library has over 65 different languages. And if you're thinking of a language like Hungarian, which isn't spoken much, you won't find many books, but something like Arabic will have a few thousand. There's also another site called Unite, which is sponsored by the WHO. It has a few thousand books in many languages. Another resource is this one called World Stories, which is a UK site that has books in many languages. Lastly, there's Storybooks Canada, which has books from at least 20 different languages available for you as ebooks. So make sure you use the library website in order to access these books. Now, something that is a bit tricky is the searching for them. So I'm going to give you a few tips for how I manage to find these when you're using your internet browser. So I usually use Google, like many of us. And I have found that you find different books or different sites using different search terms. So if you're searching in your home language and add the words ebooks or audiobooks, you'll get some good results. I also find it's really important to add the word child, kid, or children, since that will really differentiate your results. And then when I tried it the reverse and put in English, Japanese ebooks, I got some different sites again. So what you can do is, as you're looking for these sites and you find ones that are good, is you can bookmark them to add them to your toolkit. So on your home computer, you will have a whole toolkit to support your home language acquisition for your child. Now, YouTube. YouTube is a wonderful resource, but it needs a word of caution. So as many of you know, that YouTube is not censored for children. They can stumble upon nudity and violence and other such things. However, there are great channels for you to subscribe to. So if you look at the Japanese read alouds, you will find a number of authors who are reading their work aloud, and that would be a great channel to subscribe to. There's also different playlists. However, I do really recommend that parents use the YouTube for kids, especially for children grade 3 and grade 4 and under, just because it helps you as a parent to filter that content. If you're interested in the YouTube guide on Common Sense Media, I have a link up here for you to look at. I found it really helpful as a parent in order to learn how to set up some safeguards for my child. Anyway, it's a great resource, and that's my word of caution when it comes to the wonders of YouTube. And now we're on to discussing stories.
Okay,
Oh, sorry.
all right, so discussing stories. Since your child is learning in English, they will read daily in English to you and to themselves. And because your child's home language is a language other than English, they will also be reading daily in their home language as well, with you and independently. If your child is not yet literate in their home language, it would be good to provide them with the books, and they can tell the story to you in your home language, even if they are not able to read the words off the page. Books, TV shows, and movies are all kinds of stories. When you read a story, watch a TV show or movie in your home language, you and your child can discuss the story together and write about it as well. Please use the link when you want to look at the discussions starters for stories in multiple languages. And then I also have them in slides here. So I have them in Japanese, Korean, and Chinese. Okay, so moving on to section 4, talking with your child in your home language about their learning. Sakanaka Sensei will tell us why talking with our children about their learning is important to do in your home language. I would like to encourage you to use your child's class blog to help you with these conversations. So the link is right there. We're not going to click it right now. We're going to keep going, but you can click on it at a later date. And then I also have the English translation of what he's saying, as well as part 2 with keywords as well. And on the original slide with the blog, it also had a link that you can click on, which also gives you the translations. Okay, now here is a video of Sagara Sensei, one of our SOIS middle and high school PE teachers, and his child Aya, who started at OIS in KA, I believe, and is now in grade 6. Japanese is their home language, and they are discussing her learning in Japanese at home. They are talking about divisibility rules in math. And you can click on that when you want to. We also have... We also have the Japanese version of the sentence starters to help you prompt yourself and your child when having these discussions at home about their learning at OIS. So then we have it also in Korean and in Chinese as well.
So I'm going to talk a little bit more about resources in your home, especially in the event that we go back to home learning, which we really hope not. I just want to give you a few tips of things that you have around the house that can help you out. So where does this come from for me is we lived in Hungary at one point, and I was an HAL parent. I was a Hungarian as an additional language parent. And Colby was bringing books home in Hungarian. And so I wanted to try to encourage him to still read these books and enjoy them, but I used the book and told the story in English using just the pictures. And so there's a video here of how I use books, picture books, and just tell the story using the pictures. And I give you a few tips and tricks on how to do that. I also found puppets really helpful. So Colby and I would play with puppets and act stories out. So once again, we are building that home language. We're building on academic language as well through puppets and play. I also discovered that recipes were a really good way to still talk things through, talk about step and build that language. Music is another great one, not for me, but I'm tone deaf. It is something for you to enjoy, and some of you are very musical people. As well as games, good old board games, playing cards, all those things will help enrich your child's home language. And so these are a few resources that you can add to your toolkit.
So here we have resources. You can click on those links when you want to. And a special thanks to all these people who made our presentation possible. So Sakanaka Sensei, Sagara Sensei and his child Aya, Kei Cho, who is a parent of high schoolers, Carrie Nakajima, who is our SOIS Chinese teacher, Fei Chen, who is a 5th grade parent, and Kaori Aoji, our newest addition to our Japanese department here in the elementary.
So thanks so much for joining us through this video. If you have any questions, you can see our email addresses here on the screen. Please send us an email, especially if a link doesn't work or you're wondering how to use them or you're just seeking further resources. So thanks for promoting your home language with your child, and goodbye.
All right, bye everyone.
Now.
Thank you.
Thank you.